Hey guys, it's Austin from Brown&Robertson Real Estate, your Springfield and Branson relocation specialists. Don't forget, first, before we get started, to subscribe below to the channel and like the video, click the bell so you can be notified. Today, we're going to be talking about disclosures and the 10 things that should be put on them. Number one, first thing that should always be put on the seller's disclosures is what comes with the property. Now, here in our market, a lot of times homes are purchased while the sellers still currently live in the house. We do have standards such as things that are affixed to the property end up usually staying, like a range or a dishwasher. But in our market, refrigerators and washers and dryers are highly negotiated depending on the property itself. So if you want to convey which things are going to stay and which things are going to go, clearly, make sure you have it listed in the seller's disclosures. Number two is going to be features that stay with the property. I was just reading an article in Inman magazine about a gentleman who purchased a house out of his normal market in which a regular disclosure for a septic was not required. He assumed that the septic system was actually a regular sewer connection, and in that particular market, that disclosure wasn't required. Left him kind of holding the pot for a huge expense. So any features like a septic system, please make sure that they are in fact listed in the seller's disclosures. Number three, any known defects. This seems like it should be obvious, but we're really not getting the hang of it overall. So anything wrong with the house that you know about needs to be listed. Some states even require that you note if you have pets or not, because pets can damage flooring, walls, chew on doors, anything like that as well. The other thing to think about carefully is termite damage, flooding, or anything along those lines that might be external from your fault, but might have happened to the property in the past. It's great if they've been repaired, but since you knew they happened, you still need to put it down. Number four on our list, any hazardous chemicals at all. The number one thing I can think of is any property before roughly 1970, you need to make sure that you list whether or not you know if it has asbestos. But formaldehyde, radon gas, anything along those lines that you have knowledge about, you need to make sure you're putting on that report. Number five is deaths on the property. Now, each state has variations of this particular disclosure. Some have within 3 years, some have other time limits, but most places will want to know if a death has occurred on the property. Now, one thing I'd like you to take into mind is your neighbor's ability to disclose on your behalf. So if something juicy has happened, someone's going to talk about it. I just showed a client of mine a house out in Marionville where a famous murder happened actually in the front yard. It wasn't even in the home, but by God, we found out about it by the time we got there. Hey guys, this has been part one of the 10 things to make sure you have in disclosures. Part two will be done here shortly and released next week. Let me know if there's anything that you had any questions about below. There's a link to our information if you have any questions or you just want to chat about some real estate. We're always here for you guys.